It's true. It happens. It happens all the time. Editors, virtual assistants disappear for whatever reason. Uh, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about what happens when your editor leaves, not ours per se, because we'll talk about that in a second. So it's a crazy time for virtual assistants, right? Everybody's coming and saying we want more money. I totally understand that. And part of the problem is we've had our consistent subscribers, our clients, and we have a no price increase guarantee with all of those people that have done it. Now, things are changing around, right? Because inflation, and it's not just the US, it's not just Canada or North America, it's global inflation is affecting everybody. And when you had somebody before where they were making, 500 bucks a month, now they want more. And that's going to be the normal because everything costs more. Houses cost more, gas costs more, insurance costs more, food, especially. I have five, well, I had five people in my family. My son is at school now, and, you know, everything costs more. So what happens when your editor comes back and says, I want more money? That's going to happen, right? We have other programs inside of our system. Once you become a subscriber, we can talk more about it. But, some of the problems that I've had, and this is one of the reasons why I started Video Ease, is because editors go away or disappear or they get sick. I've had, let's see, I've had people tell me they're doing work and then they don't, and then they disappear for a couple of weeks and say, "Oh, sorry, we were sick," or typhoon or what have you. I've had people, and this is, it happens, right? Their family members pass on, or their family members get sick, or they get sick. And it's a concern. And, that's it, because they're people and they're human beings. And I always want to treat them like human beings. I want to make sure that they're treated correctly. So the solution to that is hiring a second person. And we have a cohort of people that work together to make sure that nothing gets delayed. Things fall through the cracks. We're humans, right? We're not perfect. But what happens when they get sick, or their computer dies, or a typhoon comes, or there's an earthquake, or their internet dies, or any slew of anything that can happen with delays, right? And it just happens. And then they want more money. And I get that. I have no problem giving them more money. We're actually increasing our prices, and everybody that's a subscriber gets to enjoy their current subscription price. That was one of my guarantees, because I hate it when companies do that, and that was one of my guarantees, right? So, what happens? So what happens is delays. That's the thing that really kind of sucks when you have a VA, a virtual assistant. Now, there's certain things that can be put on autopilot, but when you're editing videos, you can't really put it on autopilot, right? That's the whole idea, is having somebody help you do all the mundane day-to-day stuff that my assistants help me do with building the business and doing other things and doing, the marketing and creating automation and creating all that other stuff. That isn't timely. When you're doing videos, you want to make sure you post on whatever day you post. I post 7:30 a.m., 7:15 a.m. every Thursday for my real estate videos. And I want to make sure that I keep to that algorithm, because, the more often you post consistently, the more the audience is going to recognize it, the more the algorithm is going to recognize it. So what happens if you're doing it on yourself? You have a Fiverr guy, or you have your own virtual assistant, and they go away. Well, then you have to wait a couple of days, and then you're like hoping and praying, and then you're like, oh, that's okay, that's just one time. And then next thing you know, it's going to be like, oh, that's okay, just one more time. And the next thing you know, it becomes a habit. And then they go, oh, guess what? I took another job, or I can't work for you anymore because my family is going to do whatever. And that is one of the main reasons why I created Video Ease, is because I want to have a cohort of people that are ready and willing. And, I don't have everybody at the top of their guilds. I don't want to grind them so hard that they're, doing 20 videos a day, and they're like, I can't maintain that. That's not sustainable. I can't handle that. So how do we maintain that? Well, we get them down to like 40, 50% of what's I think is sustainable. And then we make sure that they're there. And then when something happens, God forbid, hopefully it's only just a computer or a typhoon that, takes their internet out, but things happen, right? And when you have your own virtual assistant, you got to take that into account. And then there's other costs that you have to consider, like all the software. We have motion array and story blocks. We have all that other stuff. We have the StreamYard, which I'm going over to Melon, and all these different costs that you don't really consider when you do all this. So it wraps up into, there's a certain cost, hard cost that we hit every month, and then there's the ancillary cost. The more that you do, the more they get paid. So yeah, the thing that we want to do is prevent your videos from being delayed, and it happens, right? There's nothing that we can do about it. It just, as time goes by and we're catching things, some things don't get caught right away. That's very infrequent, but for the most part, as long as you stack out videos and give us a bunch of videos at one time, you can give us 4, 5, 6 videos at one time and bulk record them. And you're off running for the rest of your days, for the rest of your month. And then we're sending out one video a week for you to review and give us, revisions and say that I want this change. There's a typo. And then you come back, and within a certain time frame, we're done, right? And if that editor, if your assigned editor is sick or their computer goes down, we have somebody in place to catch their volume. So that's why we came to be. And that was like my biggest thing, on top of not having to do the ancillary administrative stuff like uploading it to YouTube and putting all the copy, the description, the tags, the title, and all that stuff. And we're building it out so that it's not just the video, but we're taking the video and expanding on it, where we're creating a blog for you. We're uploading it to a podcast for you. We're sending it out on different platforms as posts, and then we're dropping them into shorts. So there's a ton of things that we're evolving into, and I'm inviting you to come along. If you have any questions or comments, you want to know a little bit more about why we developed this, let me know down below. I'm Vito Scarnecchio with Video Ease. We'll see you out there. Let me make sure I can shut this off. Bye.